Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today, courtesy of our friends across the pond at boxing247.com. And hot on the heels of my rant yesterday about the heavyweight division, unbelievably come some quotes from Tyson Fury. So let me just start off with a few words of wisdom out of his mouth. He was speaking with Frank Warren, his promoter, on a podcast yesterday, and had this to say. Basically, in a nutshell, I'll be brief because this is what Frank Warren said. We're talking about various scenarios. Something will come out of it. We could announce fairly soon. So they're talking about whether or not we might see Tyson Fury back in the ring, depending, I suppose, on the outcome of the AJ Usyk fight. To which Tyson Fury responded, Frank, show me the money. The magic man will show me the money and we will make something big, big, big happen. So in the Tyson Fury lexicon of words, he says, looking back at his magical night under the lights at Wembley, he said, giving Dillian Whyte the push, his head did not hit the canvas. He said, he explained in this interview that his daily routine, enjoying life and being an idiot abroad. He's got a third book on the way, to which he said, it'll be my third bestseller, and I can't even spell. With respect to Anthony Joshua's best chance of beating Alexander Usyk, he said, get up to Morecambe and let me train him, or he won't beat Usyk. Anyway, so I don't want to go into too much detail with respect to Tyson Fury. He's a bit of a character, obviously, but it seems to me that he is making somewhat of a reversal on his decision to retire, and is quite frankly, obviously considering it. I don't think it's a money issue. It's probably more of a challenge issue. So let's see what is presented to him in the next couple of months. Speaking of the heavyweights, and another couple of fighters who I mentioned yesterday, Hugh Fury and Michael Hunter, who are both attempting to climb the ranks in the heavyweight division. Sadly, they were scheduled to fight on July 2nd, but that has been now postponed. Fury, who has staged his training camp in Cannes, France, has been attempting to train through an illness, but his father and trainer, Pete Fury, today made the decision to suspend the camp to allow his son time to fully recover. On behalf of myself and my son, we apologize to the fans, but most of all to Hunter and his team, because like us, they've gone through a hard camp, and this news is the last thing anyone in boxing wants to hear. Hughie struggled on through the illness, but physically broke down. We look forward to this fight being rescheduled, and it's a great fight for both men and for fans around the world. Once again, we apologize to everyone involved, but health is paramount in boxing. And we couldn't agree more. So we look forward to hearing what Boxer, that's BOXXER, if they can possibly reschedule this in the near future. When I say near future, sometime this summer, I would hope. Out in California, at a place called the Doubletree Hotel, who I've mentioned many times on this episode, we're expecting now to see the explosive bantamweight contender Saul the Beast Sanchez, 18-1, by the way, 11 knockouts, putting his world ranking on the line when he battles a chap by the name of Eros Correa, who's 11-1 with 8 knockouts, in a 10-round main event headlining Thompson Boxing's Path to Glory event, and that's taking place on Friday, June 17th. With respect to his matchup, Sanchez said, I've seen Correa fight a few times, and he's a good fighter, but I've been in the ring with much better competition, and I see myself dominating this fight. He was one of the top amateurs, but in the pros, he's just average. I know he's coming to fight, so I'll be fully ready to counter anything he brings to the ring. I just believe I'm better than him in all areas, especially my power. I don't think this fight goes the distance. So there you go, all you betting sports fans out there. Tip from the top. With respect to upcoming fights, we're seeing one of the big winners out of the Olympics turning pro. Herbert, as he was known back then, Herbert Souza, fighting for Brazil, winning a gold medal, by the way. Anyway, he is now Herbert Conceição, and he's about to make his long-awaited professional debut this weekend. The Brazilian middleweight is set to fight over 6 rounds at Caesar's Palace on Saturday, June 18th, against an opponent to be confirmed, as he starts his journey to become an idol of the sport in his country. By the way, he won that gold by knocking out Ukraine's Alexander Kazhniak in a dramatic final, quite frankly, if you all recall that, last August. The 24-year-old now has his sights set on professional glory and bringing world title fights back to his homeland, where anticipation has been sky high for confirmation of his paid debut. People have been stopping me in the streets, he said, to ask me when my debut is going to happen, and now I can tell them. I've lost count how many times I've watched that winning punch from the Olympics, but now I am focused on adapting to becoming a professional fighter, so I've been doing a lot of training since Tokyo. I've missed fighting, but now I need 2 years to gain the right amount of experience, and then in the 3rd year, I want to be fighting for a world title. I want to be the new idol in Brazil. I want to make boxing even more popular than it already is in my country. It's not only a dream, but it's a goal for me to have a huge fight in my home city of Salvador and the state of Bahia, which is where most Brazilian fighters come from. So there you go. Ohara Davies seems to have been overlooked by the WBA, and he's a bit miffed. The story says baffled, but let's just say miffed. Ohara Davies has been left baffled by the WBA's decision to overlook him for a shot at the world title. Two Tanks, as you know, was hoping to be picked up to fight for the vacant super lightweight belt, but learned on Sunday night that the #1 ranked Alberto Puello has been chosen to face Batir Akhmedov, who sits at the #6 position. The WBA also confirmed that Ismael Barroso, the Venezuelan puncher who withdrew from a November clash with Davies, will fight the winner. So Davies, who's #3 in the rankings, has been left to face Spain's Senor Martin in an eliminator, while former world champion and fellow pro-bellum fighter Regis Prograis has been told he would replace any of the contenders if they choose to pull out. So said Davies, when I found out about the WBA's decision, I felt like I should have been given the next shot because I meant to fight Ismael Barroso, but he pulled out of our fight, so I don't understand how he could be made the mandatory challenger for the title. I didn't understand the WBA's decision, but I've had to fight my whole life, and this is just another fight. Davies, who is keen to fight Newcastle's Lewis Rittens, by the way, down the line, respects Martin's ability, but is confident of stopping the Spanish southpaw. He said, there's also a feeling of relief that I get to fight Senor Martin in an eliminator because now I get the chance to wipe the smile off Eddie Hearn's face. Love that quote. Martin's a good fighter. He's hardworking and came as the underdog against Mikey Garcia and got the win. He's fast on his feet. He's a good boxer, but one thing I know is that he isn't a puncher. And all it will take is one right hand to the chin for me, and it'll all be over. After this fight in Leeds, give me another 8-10 weeks, and I'll be ready for Sandor, whether it's here or in Spain. So there you go. If you want to follow more about Ohara Davies, just go to the Pro Bellum fight. I'm sure there's much more information on what he's up to. But yet another boxer, pretty confident of his abilities to continue climbing through the ranks, as I said, in his division, which is the super lightweight division. Thanks very much for joining me, boxing fans. Appreciate it. Remember to tune in for Knuckle Up at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, featuring Mike Orr and Cedric Ben. I'm sure they've got another exciting young fighter that they'll be discussing and bringing to your attention as well as mine. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you later on. Thank you very much.